have many people to recognize today for their contributions to Central and for their outstanding work in our discipline. So please continue to enjoy your lunch. This will mean you will hear clinking at times during the luncheon, but I made the executive decision that we'll handle the clinking and then we'll be done on time. All in favor? Aye. Very good. All right, that means permission to eat. Welcome. First, I'd like to welcome our NCA representatives. If you would please stand to be acknowledged. Justin Danowski, already standing. Jennifer Fletcher, Janetta Sims, and Walida Fuji. The Central States Communication Association acknowledges that this convention is being held on the ancestral, traditional, and contemporary lands of the Osage Nation, Missouri, Illinois Confederacy, and many others who reside in present-day Missouri. We recognize and respect the inherent sovereignty of these indigenous people. We acknowledge that some indigenous people were forcibly removed from their ancestral lands to Missouri, and others forcibly moved out of Missouri. As a scholarly community, we promote the inclusion of the history of indigenous people and the incorporation of contemporary thoughts and actions into your work. This statement is one step by our community of scholars to critically acknowledge the history and continued impact of colonization. This organization simply does not exist without all of the effort by a group of committed and enthusiastic members devoted to the success of CSCA. Would the following members please stand up? All interest group planners. Committee chairs. Executive committee members. Student volunteers. And members. You should all be standing by now. I have two association updates to make. They're rather unusual. First of all, the President's Dinner, the past President's Dinner, has been moved to inside the hotel. There is a possibility of quite severe weather this evening, and so we will be hosting it in the hotel. Please check your email for details. This is now a sponsored dinner by Central States. All right. In regard to the potential severe weather, because during my rotation, this group has been dealing with the COVID emergency, and now we could have a potential tornado. So, it goes with the theme. There is a tornado plan for the hotel. Should we have a tornado warning this evening? Should we have a tornado warning this evening, please proceed to the second floor and fourth floor ballrooms. This is the second floor ballroom, so you already know where one of them is. The other one's on the fourth floor. And if there's hail, which there's also potential for that, it is Missouri after all, please stay away from, they ask that people stay away from windows. Good? Good. Thank you. All right, and we go on. The officers and chairs are already lined up. Excellent. First Vice President.
Hello. First of all, welcome and thank you for being here. It's great to see so many familiar faces as well as new ones. Last year, when I announced our conference theme, Intersections, Transitions, and Silent Voices in Madison, Wisconsin, I was hopeful that the submitters and the planners will help me to curate a conference program that will allow us to talk about issues about diversity, inclusivity, equity, and access. You worked hard and submitted papers, panels, performances, and events, ideas that turn CSCA into a space of transformation, and invited and encouraged us to have much needed conversations about diversity, oppression, power, and historically silent voices. I want to extend my gratitude. Today we have more than 738 attendees at the conference. Years ago, I came to know about Central States Communication Association when I worked as an intern for Dr. Roberta Davila, one of our Hall of Fame inductees this year, who was planning the 2003 conference in Omaha. I saw a sea of names of scholars whom I have never met. That was our first introduction, and probably you did not notice it. My first CSCA conference was in Cleveland, Ohio in 2004. Now I live 60 miles away from Cleveland. It was the very first conference that I presented as a young and accented international academic. I was scared. I hardly knew anyone, and I looked and you all looked terrifying to me. I was one of the few international students and scholars at the time, and I questioned if I would ever fit in and belong to a conference such as NCA or Central. I attended my good friend Roberta's reception and danced at the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Yes, communication scholars are good dancers. We know how to move and make space and make change. But I was also terrified because I realized that I needed a network and mentors to survive. My academic journey has not been an easy one. Lots of hard work, endless hours, tears, heartache, and loneliness went into becoming a scholar and surviving in academia. I am sure my experience is not the only one. Several others walked through the line I'm walking right now, and you are probably still walking on it. We are here for you. I am here for you. These words today are not only mine. They are our collective voices to invite to make an organizational cultural change so no one, especially someone like me, accented and queer, will ever feel alone, marginalized, left out, silenced, or terrified. Over the years, CSCA became my home. I built a network, made friends. You became my academic family. Like all families, we have our own share of problems, especially DEI issues. We have been working on those, and we will continue to do so. But I cannot do this alone. I want every one of you to take this new journey, this new path with me to transform our organization for the better. Senior colleagues in this room, you have a very important responsibility. You need to make spaces for others. I ask all of you to be change agents. However, I'm also going to ask you to learn to listen before you act on those historically silenced voices. Please understand who they are and what they need. They will lead you. Learn to let others direct you to how to make meaningful and lasting change. My colleagues in this ballroom, my historically marginalized colleagues, this is your space. This is our space. We need to claim it, but we also need to stay here and be diligent to learn and to lead the way for the next generation of scholars. I also want to direct my attention to the graduate students and undergraduate students in the room and junior faculty. Make Central States your home. We need your energy. We need your excitement. We need your ideas and commitments. You are the future of this organization. Please get to know us and importantly, stay here. Lastly, I want to thank the planners who worked diligently, also my mentors who stepped in to mentor me in this journey, to Deb Ford and Al Gonzalez for their support and mentorship. Kathy Denker, thank you for your friendship, text messages, and ongoing support. And Again, thank you for being here today. Enjoy the rest of the conference, but also please make meaningful changes as you go through the day and the week.
Thank you all of you for joining us today at our Hall of Fame Awards Luncheon. First, I want to acknowledge my interns who are helping out with the convention, Aubrey Chastain, Delaney Eves, and Sean Blumicki, who have been doing everything they can to make this the best experience possible. We thank you for your support. And I also want to announce that our current member count is 1,027 members. This is our highest member count in over a decade at Harvard. However, we always have room in our community, so if you have friends in your departments at your universities, please encourage them to be a part of Central States. We have some exciting programming coming up this afternoon and on Saturday. This afternoon at 3 p.m. we have our Federation Prize presentation and an Enacting Transformational Change, a conversation with NCA leadership panel, also at 3 p.m. At 4:30, we will have part 2 of our Presidential Spotlight series on leading and leadership. And then this evening, I am so excited that we will be welcoming Dr. Amber Johnson as our Carolyn Calloway Thomas Inclusivity Speaker Series speaker for tonight at 6 p.m. So I'm so excited about that. This speaker series is sponsored by the University of Nevada, Reno, the Carolyn Calloway Thomas Inclusivity Speaker Series Endowment Fund, and the ERIC Caucus. Saturday, we will be kicking it off at 8 a.m. Yes, I know it's 8 a.m., but we will be providing breakfast sponsored by Ball State University for grad students. So please come check that out if you are looking for a graduate program or you are looking to think about how you can thrive in graduate school. We will have that at 8 a.m. Also Saturday, we will be having sessions 5 through 9 of the Undergraduate Honors Research Conference. Please come out and support the future of our discipline. We will also have a graduate school fair at 11:30, and then we will close out the day with our final Presidential Spotlight Series section. And tomorrow evening at 7 p.m., we will have our President's Party. I can't think of someone more deserving of a party celebrating somebody who planned 3 conventions for our association. So join us as we celebrate Debbie Ford on the 18th floor ballroom tomorrow at 7 p.m. Thank you.
Hello, I'm Ritzenheim, Chair of the Finance Committee. The state of our financial health is positive. My report is finished. Revenue's up, but so are expenses, especially in this year's convention site, but we have the reserves to pay for those. Investments are down, of course, but have been steadily recovering since October. Award endowments are earning 4.5% or 4.9% in safely deposited certificates of deposit, and that's more than the 3% that we withdraw from those every year to make awards. And finally, our balance sheet is healthy. Since this is my last report as Chair of the Finance Committee, I want to acknowledge the remarkable work of this committee over the past 3 years. First, they implemented the recommendations of the Ad Hoc Committee and had the bylaws amended to require Executive Committee and Finance Committee oversight of income tax filings and business license renewals. Second, they worked with our financial manager to rebalance our investment portfolio to equalize risk and rewards, which has helped us maintain a relative safe environment structure. Third, they directed that 1/6 of our portfolio be invested in companies that promote and practice social justice. Fourth, they removed the award endowments from the general fund and invested them, as I've mentioned, very safely. And fifth, they carefully and faithfully complied with the new Article 9 oversight requirements at every one of their meetings. Please join me in thanking the current and former members of the Finance Committee, including our tireless so-called ex officio member, Tiffany Wang, for these outstanding accomplishments. And when Patrick Spence joins the committee as the next chair, I'm sure their excellent work will continue. In closing, I want to acknowledge the remarkable work in the summer and fall of 2019 of then President Chad McBride, then Executive Director Chad Edwards, and then Finance Committee Chair Jeff Child, our incoming second Vice President. Organizations show their resilience when leaders respond to the unexpected, extend their normal roles and time, and bring their talents to sharp focus on immediate and potentially fatal circumstances. Chad and Jeff came together that summer as a crisis management team when it was discovered we were no longer tax exempt or operating under authorized licenses for reasons documented elsewhere. They each spent hundreds of hours and thousands of dollars in legal fees to reconstruct our financial history and then appeal to the IRS for reinstatement as a nonprofit. Thanks to their hard and remarkable work, we did regain our nonprofit status and renewed business licenses as well. Chad McBride, Chad Edwards, and Jeff Child demonstrated the resilience of Central States Communication Association. Please join me in expressing our deep appreciation for their successful rescue efforts. That concludes the report of the Finance Committee.
Hello all, welcome back to another great year. I'm so thankful to be here, and I'm so thankful, first of all, to all of our amazing pre-conference presenters. If you didn't get a chance to see them, hopefully you look them up in the program and find out more about them. I also want to do a quick thank you to all of the faculty and grad students that have been helping with the Next Leaders Network panels. All of the ideas there and the insights have been beyond value. I cannot imagine doing this conference without you. Also, thank you, Tiffany, Deb, Ahmed, and everyone else for all of your work on this conference. It has been fabulous. So what's next? Next year, I'd like to invite you to a little incoherence. Because what has life been if not a little incoherent? Whether that's messages within our relationships or messages within our organizations that attempt to rewrite history and present things in a way that they aren't actually created. We think about the way that incoherence impacts our lives and our families, our governments, our history, the voices that are removed from the narratives to create a space that's not actually reflective of what's happening, not reflective of what's going on. We as scholars think about how we handle issues of truth in an era where truth is a little questionable. So next year, I want you to think about how you can argue, articulate, narrative, perform, and question all of these moments of incoherence. I look forward to your diversity of ideas and bringing us further into more interesting conversations. Thank you.
Good noon, colleagues and friends. I'm the Editor-in-Chief of Communication Studies at UP Mao. I know this is a luncheon for excitement and celebration. However, I'm going to start with a few socially inappropriate questions for you. No matter what, anyway, what is the norm of socially appropriateness from mainstream, non-mainstream, or critical perspective? So this confusion makes me feel comfortable to ask you some uncomfortable questions in this particular context. So what are the global, local, and global crises you encountered that affected you and society in the past few years? What are the communication strategies you applied to help you to cope with those crises. If you have a scholarly answer, or if you're working on a research to have answers, I would encourage you to submit your scholarly work to the special issue that is coming. So the title is Communication Research on Coping Strategies During Global Crisis. Dr. Roxana Ahmed from State University of New York in Albany and Dr. Perot Jing from Ohio University are the co-editors of the special issue. And the call was out, circulated a few days before the convention, and the official call is on the website. Now you may wonder, why do I submit my work to communication studies? Among the numerous reasons, I'm just going to highlight two. First, in 2022, communication studies achieved 125,422 downloads, which is 51% increase compared to 2019. Second, among articles published in 2022 and the first issue of 2023, about 1/3 of the papers were co-authored by graduate students, and one paper was written solo by a graduate student. So my conclusion is communication studies is a publication venue with increased academic impacts and also nurtures early career scholars. As editor-in-chief, I thank all of the authors and reviewers and editorial board members for your support and contribution. I look forward to work with more of the CSCA members to showcase your scholarly work. Thank you.
Hello, friends. My name is Renee Kaufman. I'm the current editor of the Journal of Communication Pedagogy. I'm here to give you our report. JCP is continuing to grow both in submissions and in readership. As you know, we have open access. We are proud to provide our scholarship not only to our members, but also to the community. I want to thank the reviewers and the editorial board. Without you, this would not be possible. So thank you for your time. Thank you for your feedback. I really appreciate it, and I know our authors do as well. In regards to readership, over the past 5 months, we have had over 3,000 downloads from our website. Yes. To date, we have had 32,000 downloads since the start of our journal. That's also speaks to the excellent submissions that we are receiving, and I also think it speaks to the excellent work that our previous editors, Scott Myers and Deanna Selnow, what they have put into this journal. Our acceptance rate is currently sitting around 30 to 35%. And I have some great news. We've been working very hard to get the journal indexed in multiple places, and we've currently been accepted for indexing in ProQuest, which I think, again, is just going to build the rigor, the quality, and the reputation of our journal. The new call for Volume 8 will come out after Volume 7 has been officially published on the site, so please look forward to that sometime around late August, early September. I appreciate it all. Thank you so much. It was great sharing this news with you.
I am Roberta DeVilla Robbins, and I am the inaugural chair of the Equity and Inclusion Standing Committee, otherwise known as EIC. This committee was visioned by Alberto Gonzalez, and I'm very happy to say that the executive committee will continue to support this very important work. At this time, I would like to recognize the other committee members. We've gotten to know each other very well because we have had numerous, and I mean numerous, Zoom meetings. Please stand as you're recognized. Shweta Srivastava, who is our vice chair. Elizabeth Lozano, whom we saw via Zoom today, and she's in Colombia. Stephanie Raleigh Rodriguez, and Blessing Okafor. Thank you very much. I hope that you will put this next event on your calendar, because you're invited to our dialogue session about the committee's work and the charge regarding equity, inclusivity, and diversity, which is tomorrow, Saturday. It's session number 3501 from 2 to 3:15 p.m. in Regency F. The committee has completed the code of conduct which we were charged to write, and I'm happy to report that it was approved by the executive committee on Wednesday. What day is it anyway? The code of conduct will be available on our website. There will be a Google survey for you to provide feedback, because true to our name, we want you to have as much inclusive feedback as possible from all of our members. So thank you very much.
All right, pretend for a second that I am Stacy Ty Williams. I will be delivering her report from the chair of the nominating committee. She regrets she can't make it today. This year we had an exceptional slate of nominees, which made our work very difficult. I would like to thank the members of the nominating committee. Please stand as I read your name. Christy Beck, Nurhait Bilgi, Ann Kerber, Erica Kirby, Chad McBride, Stephen Spade, and Tiffany Wang for their service in helping narrow a very strong pool of candidates. It is now my honor to announce the CSCA members selected to run for member at large and second vice president. I'm going to start with member at large. The two members selected for member at large, please stand as I say your name, are Sarah Simons LeBlanc from Purdue University, Fort Wayne. And Ryan Neville Shepard from the University of Arkansas. At this time, we will also accept nominations from the floor. Seeing none, the member at large slate is now closed. I encourage you to vote for the member of your choice in our fall election. Now, the members who will be running for second vice president are Joy Daggs of Northwest Missouri State University. And Christina Sharp from Rutgers University. At this time, we will accept nominations from the floor. Seeing none, the second vice president slate is now closed. I encourage you to vote for the candidate of your choice at our fall election. The committee and Central States Communication Association membership thank all of our candidates for your willingness to give your time and talent in service of our association. Thank you.
I ask that we take a moment of silence to remember our members whom we have lost this year. Tom Burkholder, University of Nevada, Las Vegas. Dan O'Hare, University of Oklahoma. And William S. Seiler, University of Nebraska, Lincoln.